Alright, y'all, we're going to bring you another adventure while we're on the COVID-19 lockdown. I got a friend of mine that has a pond. Supposedly the fish are biting out there. We're going to take one of the Walmart cheap kayaks and do another cheap Walmart kayak video. We're going to drag that sucker out from underneath the house now. Load it in the truck. Reed's already out there fishing, so we're going to meet him out there. That didn't help much. Alright, y'all. I've had this Lifetime Tamarack 10-foot kayak for 3 years. It's been well used, and we're going to do a 3-year review on it. And then we're also going to take it out on this pond and try to catch some fish. We may even try to stand up on it and maybe do a stability test. I mean, I'll show you how stable it is. Alright, what we got comes 2 rod holders. You got storage inside, which I hardly ever use on this one, because once you get something in there, this whole kayak is open. Sorry. Once you get something inside of it, the whole kayak is open on the inside, so it just slides from one end to the other. I just had that anchor inside the kayak, and it took me like 4 minutes to try to get it out of there, because it was all the way in the front, and I had to get it to come to this port right here, and where I could get my hands on it. Wasn't no big deal, but there's not a lot of room in there. Can't put your paddles or nothing in it. For 240 bucks, like I said, I bought this thing 3 years ago. It come with a paddle. I still have the paddle. It still works fine. I actually have that paddle as a backup paddle in one of my other kayaks. What we did do was put this cushion on it. It come with a real thin cushion, and this is just a big, I think 2 or 3 inch neoprene cushion. Works really well. The day I brought this kayak home from Walmart, took it out of the back of my truck, went to church. When I got back from church, the neighbor's dog come over and ripped the cushion off the bottom of it. So before I could even use it, it was tore up. But no big deal. Life happens, you know how it goes. But no matter what, no matter which kayak you get that just has a cushion for a seat, get you an extra cushion. Because if you're out on the water for more than a couple hours, that old butt cheek and that back starts hurting. Show you some stuff that's broke, but it's no big deal, and it's expected to break. As you can see, this back right here, I got a bungee to just kind of help hold it back. Because when you get out in the water, and if you scoot up or do something, turn sideways, this thing wants to fall down. So I just put a bungee on it to kind of help hold it up. On these plastic clips right here. That's what holds this in place, and there's some little plastic down there that holds it. It used to have actual adjustment that you could clip on and do that, but it broke. It lasted a couple years before it broke, but you know, I keep these under the house. Keep all my kayaks under the house, so you know they don't get sun exposure year round or nothing like that. When we're not using them, they're out of the sun. You know, plastic will degrade in the sun the more you let it set out. Now, of course, if you're just out using it, don't worry about it. You ain't using it enough the time you're out on the water for it to hurt it. But if you take your kayak home and just lay it over beside the house or beside the shed, no matter what brand it is or how thick that plastic is, it will start degrading and getting brittle. So don't do that. Put it under a house, in your garage, something. Get it out of the weather, out of the sunlight. This right here is an actual, you put a cable to it if you want to stand up. I have never stood up in this kayak, and I'm going to put a cable on it here in a minute after we get done talking, and once we get done fishing, I'm going to try to stand up in it. It's probably going to be a bad idea because I don't have very good balance. The kayak is stable when you're sitting down. I've seen my oldest son, I've seen him stand up in it, and he done a real good job. Like I said, I'm 5'7", 210 pounds, and like I said, I just haven't even tried to stand up in it yet. I know he had to pee real bad while we was out in the marsh one day, and we done been out there about 6 hours. and he stood up in it and peed off of it. So somewhere on this kayak it's probably got his pee dribble all over it somewhere. Like I said, that is not the paddle that come with it. Paddle that comes with it is a lot shorter than that, but it's not a terrible paddle. I mean, $240 you get a kayak and a paddle, ain't too bad. So show you the straps. You can see this is starting to get frayed, which is just rope, but it's 3-year-old rope that's been in the salt water, been in fresh water. It's drug around by that. I used both that strap, sometimes this one. This one's still in good shape. Let me get out of the sunlight so you can see it. It is still in good shape, but I'll run my straps through it to tie them down in the truck. So I don't think over a 3-year period that is too bad. It did have bungee back here, and it did not break or rot away or anything of that nature. I just took it off because it more or less got in the way for what we use this kayak for. Like I say, this kayak's been out in the pond, it's been on the river, it's been in salt water. I would not recommend taking it out in the ocean. I would not recommend taking it in fast moving water. This is more just pond use, it's perfect. Lake use, where you don't have a ton of wind and a ton of wake and stuff like that, it's perfect. Backwater, salt water, you know, fishing in brackish water. As long as there's not a lot of rushing water, you're good. I mean, for $240, you can't beat it. I tell you what, let me flip it over, show you the bottom. Three years old, you can see the scuff marks on it. You can see how wide it is. This is, like I say, for 10 foot wide or 10 foot long. I think this thing is 34 inches wide. But you can see she's scuffed up. We do our best to not drag it. Try to pick it up and carry it, because the more you drag plastic across concrete and rocks and even sand, it will wear a hole in it. I've already had to fix 2 of our more expensive kayaks from getting wear, hitting oyster beds and stuff like that. So far, no holes in this one. So, like I said, $240. I know I keep repeating that, but for the price, can't beat it. I know this is long-winded. I'm ready to shut the camera off, get my stuff back ready, launch out, and we will get at it here in a minute. Super simple to launch. Best thing to do is have the whole kayak in the water. Don't try to leave an end or a side up on the bank to try to not get your feet wet. Best thing to do with kayaking is not worry about getting wet. Just, it's gonna happen. So you can either just step in the water, or you can make sure the whole kayak's floating and just set down on the side right there. Like I said, the best thing to do is just not worry about getting wet. Out of the way. Clean my shoe off. Clean that shoe off. Alright y'all, I'm getting ready to show you why I don't like any kind of cloth cables, basically any kind of cables connected to my kayaks, like the bungees and stuff. In the back it's not so bad, but in the front I am hooked right there. Now you would think that's not that big of a deal, but I'm trying to get to it without messing my balance up and flipping. And you can see I got a mess right here in front of me. I don't want to put all that on my shorts and then get in my truck. But I cannot lean forward and reach that. My flexibility is not that good. Now I'm going to try to scoot a little bit. But if that cable wasn't there, which I'm not using it, I was able to get it. Thank goodness. No! I got it. Okay. That cable is going to be off. I'm going to cut it off. Same with this handle up front. I snagged on it and had to break off because I couldn't reach it. I could have got out, you know, paddled to the bank and got out and got it, but I didn't want to do that. It's too aggravating. It's quicker just to break off and retie. But that is one thing you may want to think about. Not if you get this kayak, if you get any kayak. If it's got some sort of bungee on the front or cords on the front, your hook's going to connect with it sooner or later. I just get rid of them. Alright y'all, I done went and unloaded all the stuff out of the kayak. Getting ready to show you the stability of it. It's pretty stable. Most kayaks just turn sideways, feet hanging over the side. Not worried about flipping it at all at this point. Now I don't know about standing up at it. I've never done it. We're gonna try here in a minute. But like I said, you can see feet hanging off, turning around, go to the other side. Like I say, and I'm not being gentle, I'm not being easy, and it's nothing. Pretty stable. Alright, I'm gonna back this thing up. Alright y'all, I paddled over here to shallow water. I'll make sure it's at least a foot deep before I go to stand up, so if it does tilt one way or the other, you know the bottom's not hitting on the bottom and stabilizing. I did put this cable in here just to help me stand up. All it is just some 550 cord, and I don't even have it tied in. It's just ran through that loop, and that's what that loop is actually for, is to help you pull yourself up. But I don't think I'm even going to use it in the beginning, maybe once I go to stand up. But let's give it a shot and see what happens. The reason I'm in shallow water is because I still got to go back to the house in my truck, and I would like for my truck not to smell like pond water. All right, there's that. If I put that behind me, there we go. That is actually a whole lot easier and a lot stable, more stable than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be tougher than that. Now I'm not telling you, you know, you would want to do this standing out in 50 feet of water, but I felt like it was going to be a lot tougher than that and a lot less stable. Like I say, I'm not trying to flip it, but let me get my paddle. Alright, sitting back down, paddle in the front, not using the cable. I just wanted to get the paddle in case I needed it. I did not plan on taking the camera off my head once I was standing up in it, but it is, I about fell out then. That'd have been my fault just for being an idiot, but just standing here, Now if you hit something while you were drift fishing or something like that, you'd go out. But other than that, this thing is super stable. I did not expect this. I could pee out of this thing. That's how stable it is. Alright, we're going to head back to the truck. I'm probably going to end this video right here. I was going to get home and show you all them brim that we caught and put them in my bait tank, but they're all already dead. So I guess look for a catch, clean, and cook of brim here shortly. Some of them are small, but I'm not going to waste them. But anyways, I appreciate y'all coming along with me. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Hope y'all like the video. If you looking to buy a kayak and not wanting to spend more than $250, Lifetime Tamarack, that's the way to go. Walmart. Like I say, this one here has got rod holders and everything already mounted in it. Right there is a rod holder also. I just don't ever use it, and it comes with that. But anyways, remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I will get back at you when I get back at it.